Hi everybody, this is IntuitiveEdge. Welcome to my channel once again. Thanks for joining me. So I wanted to check in with all of you after yesterday's crazy day that we had. Anxious to kind of connect again with you guys and hear from any of you that were there. So that had kind of a different spin on things, maybe stuff that we weren't quite expecting. At least I wasn't quite expecting it to turn out like that. I did see that it does appear that Pence is no longer on the fence. We kind of know what side he's on, and I really sense that he might come through and at least maybe do the 10-day thing or give it back to the states or something. I did see the best outcome on that particular question, but obviously he chose, and I did feel there was some element of free will at play, and it didn't feel solid and definite to me, and so obviously that's why, because he took a different path. Anyway, it did solidify the fence sitting, and I think that I know myself and other psychics have said over the last few weeks and months that we were coming to a point where sitting on the fence was not going to be a thing. It was either pick one side or the other. There's not going to be a middle. And it looks like many have chosen their side. So whether you come on the side of Trump or the other, and it's not just Trump's side. This was the side of, I feel, fair and honest elections. Now, there's some contested. There's some that say that things were not done constitutionally, that things were rigged, and those things should have been looked at, in my view. So, anyway, all of this is playing out. I do feel that there are some more things coming. I was doing I'm looking back at my notes here because I was pulling some cards just on some general questions earlier, and I do get some messages about possible Insurrection Act maybe being invoked, and possible action being taken against the coup plotters. We'll have to see how that turns out, but some pretty strong cards there, and I may get into that and do more of an in-depth video, but I will probably post that elsewhere on my other channels, not on YouTube. I thought, okay, what can I do for today? I know that there's a lot of people that are, upset. They feel disenfranchised. They feel that they haven't been heard. And so I thought, okay, what can I do that just might give some encouragement, okay? And I think we all kind of need a little bit of that right now. So I thought I would go to my Zen Tarot deck because this deck goes deep and the questions are often very ethereal, and you kind of have to really get in tune with the cosmos to really embrace what this deck says. And so I thought this would be a perfect deck to kind of get us out of our head space and into our heart space and really just hear the message that's coming forth for this time. So I thought, okay, what do we need to focus on right now, that would help bring in a new perspective? And I get this card. Let's see if you can see that. Now, you see the little bird there getting ready to leave its cage. It's the card of understanding. I'm going to go ahead and put my glasses on so I can read. I'm just going to read from the book. So this is the page of water, and it's called Understanding, page 62. It says, the bird pictured on this card is looking out from what seems to be a cage. There is no door, and actually the bars are disappearing. The bars were an illusion, and this small bird is being summoned by grace and freedom and encouragement of the others. The bird is spreading its wings, ready to take flight for the very first time. The dawn of a new understanding that the cage has always been open and the sky has always been there for us to explore can make us feel a little shaky at first. It's fine and natural to be shaky, but don't let it overshadow the opportunity to experience the lightheartedness and adventure that are on offer, right there alongside the shakiness. Move with the sweetness and gentleness of this time. Okay, it may not feel like that right at the moment, but spread your wings and be free. Okay, it says you are out of jail. Now, I'm thinking that this is about the reality of what we face. About the reality, the truth, the truth beyond the drama that we're in right now. It says, you are out of jail, out of the cage. You can open your wings and the whole sky is yours. All the stars and the moon and the sun belong to you. You can disappear into the blueness of the beyond. Just drop clinging to the cage. Move out of the cage and the whole sky is yours. Open your wings and fly across the sun like an eagle. In the inner sky, in the inner world, freedom is the highest value. Everything else is secondary. There are thousands of flowers, uncountable, but they all become possible in the climate of freedom. So I take that as coming out of what we are seeing right now, the drama, I want to say disrespect that many feel. Just the whole chaos of this drama. To come out of that and to embrace a bigger picture of what might be taking place and to understand that we are not called. And I'm speaking from myself, but I think that maybe I can impart this to you. But I know that I am not called in this lifetime to suffer on this earth. I've come into this earth to live a life of connection with God and the freedom that brings me. And so if I'm here to do that, I know I'm not the only one. So maybe this is understanding that the picture that we see in front of us is an illusion, just like these bars, and that the truth is that there is more on the outside of the cage. Once we step out and embrace that there's something better on the horizon, and it can look a little scary at first, but knowing that we're going to be able to fly, and with flight comes a higher view and a better view of what you're seeing, and an ability to escape, ability to be able to maneuver, because you have a clearer view and a clearer picture. So I thought, okay. My next card I threw out and I'm kind of doing a loose Celtic cross spread. So the next card out was like the past. You know, what's going to be in the past? What do we need to let go of? And funny we should say that. I had to laugh when I saw this card. Politics. Okay, that made me laugh. Yeah. Letting go. Politics. Page 130. So this is all about seeing behind the facade, seeing the real snake behind the false pretenses, okay? The book here says, do you recognize this man? All but the most innocent and sincere of us have a politician lurking somewhere in our own minds. The mind, in fact, is political. Its very nature is to plan and scheme and try to manipulate situations and people so that it can get what it wants. Here the mind is represented by the snake. The snake covered with clouds and speaking with a forked tongue. But the important thing to realize about this card is that both faces are false. The sweet, innocent, trust me face is a mask. And the evil, toxic, I'll have my way with you is a mask too. Politicians don't have real faces. The whole game is a lie. So take a good look at yourself and see if you've been playing the game. What you see might be painful, but it's not as painful as continuing to play the game. And I'm thinking, by continuing to play the game, is that continuing to stay in the cage and not set yourself free and not be free of the drama and the chaos of the moment? Reading on. It doesn't serve anybody's interest in the end. Whatever you might achieve will just turn to dust in your hands by continuing to play the game. And it goes on, anybody who can be a good pretender, a hypocrite, will become your leader politically or will become your priest religiously. All he needs is hypocrisy, and all that he needs is cunningness, and all he needs is a facade to hide behind. Your politicians live double lives, and haven't we found that out this week? One from the front door, the other from the back door, and the back door life is their real life. The front door are smiles, and those are false. Those faces, looking so innocent, are just cultivated. If you want to see the reality of the politician that serves you, you will have to see him from the back door. There he is, as he is. And so is the priest, the religious person, I'm taking it. These two kinds of cunning people have dominated humanity. And they found out very early on that if you want to dominate humanity, make it weak. Make it feel guilty. Make it feel unworthy. Destroy its dignity. Take away all of its glory and humiliate it. And they have found subtle ways of humiliation that don't come in the picture at all. They leave it to you to humiliate yourself, destroy yourself, and they've taught you a slow kind of suicide. And isn't that all how people in power work, is by getting others to give up theirs? Something to think about. But thankfully, that's kind of in the past position as we let go of that. So I thought, okay, what's coming up? And I got this card. What's on the foreground, the forefront, coming into being? We have creativity and a beautiful card, as you see here. This is like the metaphysical soup of goodness and light and color all coming in one creative burst of energy. Creativity. That is Major Arcana number 3, page 8. And the book here says, from the alchemy of fire and water to the divine light entering from above, the figure in this card is literally possessed by creative forces. Really, the experience of creativity is an entry into the mysterious. Technique, expertise, and knowledge are just tools. The key is to abandon oneself to the energy that fuels the birth of all things. This energy has no form, no structure, and yet all form and structure comes out of it. It makes no difference what particular form your creativity takes. It can be painting or singing or planting a garden or making a meal. The important thing is to be open to what wants to be expressed through you. Remember that we don't possess our creations. They don't belong to us. True creativity arises from a union with the divine forces within us, with the mystical and the unknowable. Then it is both a joy for the Creator and a blessing to others. So this is what we get when we are willing to step out of the cage and come out of the chaos and embrace a higher perspective. Going on. Creativity is the quality you bring to the activity that you're doing. It's an attitude, an inner approach, how you look at things. Not everybody can be a painter or a singer. There is no need. If everybody is the painter, the world would be very ugly. It would be difficult to live. And not everybody can be a dancer. There is no need. But everybody can be creative. Whatsoever you do, do it joyfully. If you do it lovingly, if your act of doing is not purely economical, then it is creative. If you have something growing out of it within you, if it gives you growth, it is spiritual, it is creative, and it is divine. You become more divine as you become more creative. All the religions of the world have said that God is the creator. I don't know whether he is the creator or not, but one thing I know, the more creative you become, the more godly you become. When your creativity comes to a climax, when your whole life becomes creative, you live in God. So he must be the creator because people who have been creative have been the closest to him. Haven't you noticed that about people who have worked on masterpieces of art or music? That those who have reached the pinnacle of that expression seem to tap in and connect with something that is divine. Like it connects them to worlds beyond, and they bring that in through their art and their expression. Love what you do and be meditative while you are doing it, whatsoever it is. So I thought, okay, this is good. I want to keep going. So I pulled another card. And this is, what do we know? Guidance. Guidance coming in. Guidance to help us. It's not that we have to break out of this cage mentality and embrace a new way of being, and we're just left to kind of figure it out. We have help. We have guidance from the other side. So what does this say? This is the 3 of Rainbows, number 142 in the book. Guidance. Hope you guys don't mind me reading to you. The angelic figure with rainbow-colored wings on this card represents the guide that each of us carries within. Like a second figure in the background, we may sometimes be a little reluctant to trust this guide when it comes to us, because we are so accustomed to taking our cues from the outside rather than from the inside. The truth of your own deepest being is trying to show you where to go right now. When this card appears, it means that you can trust the inner guidance that you are being given. It speaks in whispers, and sometimes we can hesitate, not knowing if we have understood rightly, but the indications are clear. In following the inner guidance, you will feel more whole, more integrated, as if you are moving outwards from the very center of your being. If you go with it, this beam of light will carry you exactly where you need to go. Moving on. You have to look for guidance because you don't know your inner guidance is hidden inside you. You have to find your inner guide. You have to awaken that Buddha in your life, and it will shower you with blessings and benediction. Your life will become so radiant with good and godliness, the more than you can possibly conceive. It's almost like light. Your room is dark, and you just bring light in. Even a small candle will do. The whole darkness disappears. And once you have a candle, you know where the door is. You don't have to think about it. You simply get up and go out. You never give a single thought. You don't start groping for the door. You simply see it. And it's not even a flicker of thought. Okay. So the way will be shown through the guidance that we have within. All right, so wrapping all of this up, we're coming to a place of maturity. Oops, sorry. Maturity. Maturity. The figure stands alone, silent and yet alert. The inner is being filled with flowers, the quality of springtime. He can move in any direction, within and without makes no difference, as his joy and maturity cannot be diminished by externals. I think what we're coming on in this time is coming to a place where we are not affected by what is externally happening around us, where we can stay solid and grounded, knowing that truth sometimes has to catch up to what we are calling forth in the moment. In our creative burst of energy, when we're unifying with the divine and creating those forces that want to come in and create something new. And the external world is telling us, our five senses, that this is not right. This is not what we're wanting to experience. In that moment, we're coming to where, in our maturity in all of this, is telling us to stand, and to stand in our own creative forces, to bring in and create the world we want to see. That we don't have to rely on what we're being told we're seeing, but we can create it because we have that inner guidance within, and we see the bigger picture from within us. When you draw this card, know well this moment carries a gift. Hard work well done. Your base is now solid, and success and good fortune are yours, for they are the outcome of what has already been experienced within. The distinction between the blossoms is the same as between you not knowing that you're a Buddha and the moment that you know that you are a Buddha, meaning that you have those creative forces within you. You're not some random human that it is just wandering along without a purpose. You have a purpose. The Buddha is completely blossomed, fully opened. His lotus have come to a completion. Certainly, to be full of spring yourself is far more beautiful than the autumn dews falling on the lotus leaves. This is one of the most beautiful things to watch. When autumn dews fall on the lotus leaves and shine in the morning sun like pearls. But of course, it's a momentary experience. This temporary beauty cannot be compared, certainly, with an eternal spring within your being. You look back as far as you can, and it has always been there. You look forward as much as you can, and you will be surprised. It is your very being. Wherever you are, it will be there, and the flowers will continue to shower on you. This is a spiritual spring. I think we're being shown that this moment is not being defined by the chaos of the moment, but by what each of us are willing to create out of the chaos. By connecting with our source, by continuing to pursue beauty, creativity, and to know that what we are seeing on the inside will be eventually manifested on the outside. So create that beauty within you, as we all create it within ourselves. Let your light shine. Speak your truth. Be your voice. And let that continue to come out, no matter what chaos we see on the outside. And know that as you do, we will all raise the vibration of the planet around us, which is already raising because it's welling up within each of us. That's why we're feeling the angst. That's why we're feeling the chaos. That's why we're feeling this moment, because those creative energies are coming in. And we are coming to a place where it's going to have to culminate and express outward. But it's not going to be adding to the chaos. It's pulling us up out of it, freeing us from this cage so that we can join the others as they too have been set free. I hope this has helped encourage you, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care. I wish you well, and we will catch you next time.